So, seconds out, delighted
Oh,
to be
man,
joined by Southern Area super middleweight champion Germaine Brown. How are you getting on?
all good. I'm all good. It's going well. Isolating.
How are you getting on in terms of like training and stuff while all this is going on? Have you got much at home that you can mess around with?
Yeah, well, I've still been training. Like literally, I'm just been going for runs, bike rides, and I've got like a little bag in my garage that I've been using as well. So it's not the same, but it's, wait, can't. I ain't really got no gyms being open, so
I'm guessing all
got the
this came
usual I've
in
got.
like not long after you moved to the boxing booth gym, the brand new gym, with Adam Martin. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. So it was just starting to settle in the new gym, and then this has happened, so it's kind of messed things up.
What do you make of the
I've
gym?
been
Looked pretty
like,
impressive when I
I think,
visited.
yeah. It's, everything's like brand new. Like, there's like loads of bags, 2 rings. This is it's a nice gym, man. It's the best gym I've been to. Everything's just brand new.
How are you kind of looking towards the future? Because you have fought mainly in small halls. You won your Southern Area belt on the road as well. So you've not had many favours so far in your career. And now it's looking quite difficult to put on shows without TV for anyone for the rest of this year. So what are you kind of looking, what's your plan, if you like, for the rest of the year?
I don't really know. Can't really plan because no one really knows what's gonna go on. So I'm just trying to just stay fit. But when people do know when we can box again, whether that's like behind closed doors or whatever the situation is going to be, like I'm ready to fight. So as soon as I get called and be ready, and on the super middleweights that's boxing, and there's a possibility I could get on the show, and I'm just going to be ready and make sure I can box.
As a fighter who does do mainly small hall stuff, at least so far, do you feel a bit of pressure to take any assignments that are offered now this year because you know it might be next year before you can get a normal fight, if you like? You might have to take a short notice fight against a favoured opponent, for example.
Yeah. Well, I was willing to do that anyway. I'm willing to do that anyway because literally, once I won this title, I thought I was going to get more fights. Even before, like as soon as I won that title, no one really wanted to box me, and I was willing to fight anyone. I'll fight anyone in the super middleweight division. That's on top 20 ranked. So it doesn't really matter. I'm staying ready. So if I do get a call, I'm on it. I don't really mind who I box. I'll box anyone.
Does it surprise you that you're not with one of the major TV promoters just yet? Because obviously you're still only 25, you've got a title, you had a decent amateur background as well, and you're you've got a good style to watch.
Yeah. But I think I'm still learning. Only had 8 fights, so still learning, still getting there, and I reckon it will come soon. So just got to get more fights. Just get maybe better opponents. Hopefully soon when I box better opponents, they'll see that I'm at a good level, and then that will show.
Have you been kind of filling the gaps in your boxing education with top quality sparring, at least until you get to a higher level in the ring, like in the competitive ring? And if so, who are some of the people you've sparred?
Yeah. I sparred like George Groves. I sparred George Groves before I was even when I was just turning over to be pro. Before I had any pro fights, I sparred Joshua Buatsi many times. I sparred John Ryder. He was boxing for Callum Smith. Then who else? Dow Williams. I sparred him. Uh, Loads of people, man. That's I love sparring. So I'll spar anyone for like it's good. I feel like I learn a lot from sparring. Like sparring all these guys, being in the ring like with George Groves, like seeing how things are, how he trains. Because also you see how they train as well. After they spar, they might do little training sessions. You can pick up a lot of things, and like they'll tell you sometimes like sparring with Josh Watsy might tell you certain things that give you a bit of advice to help you improve. So it's always good.
What are some of the things you learned from those spars, either with Buatsi or Groves or anyone you want to pick out, really? But give us some examples of stuff that you picked up from it.
I think it's more just like I can't really explain it. It's just how they do certain things. It's like I'm not good at explaining things, but it's just how you can list because sometimes it's not only me that's sparring, so there might be another person that's sparring. You watch what they do, how they deal with certain situations when they're in the ring and they're sparring, and it could be from anything really. It's just good to just watch them how they deal with situations and when you're in the ring, then with them as well, how they deal with you, and just little things you just pick up.
You sparred Groves ahead of his fight with Chris Eubank in the WBSS. As you've just said, you sparred John Ryder ahead of his fight with Callum Smith. Now, most people would say that
Yeah,
Eubank Jr. and Callum Smith don't have a lot of similarities in their style. So does that speak to your kind of versatility that you were chosen for both those roles?
yeah, of course, because I feel like I can adjust. Like, especially when I was like boxing, sparring grows. I feel like they wanted me to be more busy, throw more shots, like to be a bit like box like Eubank. So like throw a lot of shots, speedy, be fast. So I felt like I was good at I'm good at adjusting and changing my style and to help these guys out when we're doing the sparring.
Does it give you ideas for stuff you want to do with your own style as well? Because, like you say, you can do all these different things. When you see yourself doing, say, being busier, like against Groves, or being a bit more upright, like to emulate Callum Smith, do you look at that and think, if you're having success, I should do a bit more of this in my own fights?
Yeah, of course. So, because you can't always just have you got to adjust your style to different opponents. No opponent's the same. So you might have someone that's shorter like John Ryder. You might have to work differently, different angles, or work from range. So it's good like sparring these other guys, different guys. So you pick up the skills of changing and adjusting during your time in the ring.
What's kind of the next stage for you? Like we said, you've got the area belt, but as you pointed out, you've only had 8 pro fights so far. How close are you to being ready for either an English title or a British title fight?
Yeah, I'm ready now. I want to box for the English, hopefully. If not next, like it's quite difficult because what's going on at the minute
Of course.
with the situation. So I want to box for English. I want to box like and then hopefully box for the British in these titles. It's just find out who I want to like who to box and if that can happen and when.
Who do you see as kind of the ones to watch in and around your weight, the kind of guys that you need to fight to get to that next level?
Right now, I'm quite looking at like Zach Chili or maybe Umar Sadiq. I think those are the guys should be looking at right now for like for box for English title.
Yeah, you and Umar Sadiq would be a great kind of mesh of styles, I think, and obviously both from London as well. I think that would be quite a good sellable
Yeah,
fight.
yeah. A lot of people say that, so I think I'm willing to. I'll box him any day, so that'll be a good fight. Hopefully that does happen, and you get that fight happen.
You only actually started boxing when you were 16, I believe. What actually got you into the sport? Because most people obviously get into it a bit younger.
Yeah, basically I started. So, but I started when I was 15.
I think.
In they brought it into my school as an after school kind of activity thing to do. I was doing that like twice a week. My brother was boxing as well. So my older brother, he's 3 years older than me, but he was boxing at Fitzroy Lodge. And then one day he brought me down there and he introduced me to Grant. He was like, yeah, for the juniors, 'cause I think I was still a junior. So he introduced me to Grant with all the juniors. I went down there, trained for one day, and then Grant liked the way I was boxing, I was training. He's like, yeah, come down every Monday and Wednesday. And I was just there every day of the week, every Monday, Wednesday there after school. And I stayed there, boxed there, boxed at the lodge for the whole of my amateur career. So it's at lodge there, then boxed there as a senior as well.
And what was it that made you want to turn over at the point you did? Because you had just under 50 amateur fights. You obviously got a few titles under your belt as well, Haringey Box Cup novices and so on. You could have stayed amateur longer, got some more, maybe some international experience as well. What made you turn over at that particular point?
Yeah. Um, it's something I always wanted to do. I always wanted to be a professional boxer, and I wanted to turn pro. And I thought, like, I don't know, it's just one day I thought I was ready. I thought I was ready to do it. I spoke to my brother about it. He said, yeah, if you feel like you want to turn pro, you should do it. And I spoke to Adam Martin, because there were certain times I was going down to Adam Martin's gym as well to spar and train. And I spoke to him about turning pro. And then he was for it as well.
What's your relationship like with Adam Martin? Obviously, he's been around the game forever. And as you say, you stuck with him from Fitzroy Lodge all the way through to the pros.
Yeah. Because I've known him from, he used to do all the matchmaking for the lodge. So I did know him for that. I was sometimes when he was not training too far from me. So certain times I'll go down there and train as well. So I just knew him, and it was just go with someone I know.
And what's your own situation? Are you married? Have you got kids? Do you work aside from boxing?
Yeah. I'm still working, but I'm currently not working at the moment. I'm on furlough. I'm doing plumbing, so I've been plumbing for like 2 years. Been doing that, but I'm off work at the minute. So I just had time. But I should be back soon. They're saying I'll be back at work. But I'm still going to be training as well.
And have you got a family? Have you got kids
no
or
kids?
Like that? Oh yeah, sorry. No kids.
No kids. No kids. Yeah. Not yet.
All right, before we let you go, just tell people out there how they can find you on different social media platforms so they can follow you a bit more closely.
Follow me on Instagram, G_Brown_boxer. You follow me on Twitter as well at GManBoxingBoxer23.
Brilliant. Well, really appreciate your time, and I hope you get back in the ring as soon as possible.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you for the interview today, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. Take care, mate. I'll speak to you soon.